Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the online thing starting because I might have the speaker on. Anyway, so you have 5 minutes to get these warm-up problems done. During this time, I will be coming around to start check notebook grades, and I will be coming around throughout the class to try to get those checked.
I don't think I have my notebook yet. I don't have to go. Am I doing it right?
I know my wife's about
You'll put this for it.
it was three.
So this is into that. And if you will tape it on the spine, then you'll still be able to open it up and see it. But then you have to flip it up and you can really see the back.
How many sheets did we do last week?
4. One every day.
3 times. I know what I'm doing.
There was 1 every day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and then this night. So we finished doing those.
What are you doing, man? Only 2. I don't know, I have 3 and 4 on my desk. 3. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 like this.
This one. So that's the. Okay, you weren't here Friday, so. Did you do it last Friday? We did.
I gotta finish this one.
Yeah, we did finish it on Friday. It's in the same video as this one.
Still on the right. I'm too small.
No, you don't.
What was the 4 today? Where do you want to? That's all I need to know. Bro, which one?
You're on day 4.
You still have it?
No,
And then
no.
the three.
Leave me alone.
Well, you know what you could probably do?
Not one on the end.
I didn't ask for your story about coming up being a
What?
just a question.
I answered the question. You do. What?
No.
Three. Okay. Okay, Ronnie, you got any tapes? No.
The tapes are lit. You know, teacher provides us these stuff so we can just, teacher provides stuff. Not nice of you. Okay, wait,
What you do? Give it to your chair.
Okay, this one is number five. So what is? Was that three?
Okay, so let's see how well you did on these. So for this first one, you should have taken the 3 and raised it to the power on this 4. And so 4 to the third power is 64. And then 3, then we're multiplying. So these get multiplied. So x to the 9, y to the 21st is what you should have had for that one. For this one, we're just multiplying. So 2 times 4 is 8. Then we're going to add our exponents. Don't forget about those invisible ones. So 1 and 3 is 4. And 2 and 1 is 3. And for the bottom one, okay, I'm going to circle all the big ones first. So I know that I've got some on top and bottom. So 24 divided by 8 is 3, leaving my 3 in bottom. I'm going to subtract my exponents. So 9 is bigger, so 9 minus 3 is 6. So j to the 6. My 6 is bigger on my k, so k to the 4th in bottom. And my 5 is bigger on top, so L squared on top. So that's what you should have ended up with for that one simplified. So now look at the rules at the bottom. How well did you do matching them up? So which one matches with negative exponents? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's right here. Get this page completed for the warm-up. So yes. So which one goes with negative exponents? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is the fourth one?
The fourth one, okay, is negative exponents because it has a to the negative in there. Okay. So what about 0 powers? The fifth one. Okay. What about product of powers?
The bottom.
The first one is correct. Okay. Because this is, okay, a to the m power times a to the n power, and we're adding them over here. We're adding the exponents. Okay, so what about quotient of powers? The quotient of powers? Okay. Quotient means to divide, right? Okay, so this last one is not, it's not dividing the powers. I mean, well, it is dividing the powers here, but it's got a radical here. So is my quotient have anything to do with the roots? No. Okay?
What's the second one?
It's the second one. Rational exponents is the one that deals with the root.
So it's the last one.
And then power of a power, it's the only one we have left. Do you agree? I'm going to have Miss Holt bring this paper around to you. So this is just another thing that you can add to your journal that has all of the properties listed on it. Okay, you can color it, have some fun with it. Okay, write on it some more. Okay, but this just gives you all of those properties of exponents that you just matched up right now. Okay? So this just needs to get put in your journal. I didn't get it shrank, I put holes in it instead. So you're just gonna have to fold it and glue it in. I also need you, while that she's coming around with that, to get out your Friday's practice assignment. Your Fridays that we didn't finish going over the examples that I told you to get them finished up, and we would finish looking at them on today's class. So this is the very back page. The page right before that did ask you some questions about these two examples here. But we're just going to take this time and work them on the very back page there.
Got one, extra one.
So we know what to do with this power to a power, right? So 3 cubed is 27. And then I'm going to multiply x to the 15. I've still got y to the 0 because 3 times 0 is 0. And z to the 6th. What am I going to do with that y to the 0? Mark it out. I don't need it, right? Because it equals 1, and 1 times anything doesn't change it. So my final answer is 27, x to the 15, z to the 6th. It's on Fridays, the last page of Fridays, yes. So 4 and 6 don't simplify evenly. 6 can't be divided evenly by 4, which means I can only reduce them. They are both even numbers, so I end up with 2 over 3. 3 is bigger, so 3 minus a negative 2 makes it a 5, so a to the 5th power. 6 is bigger, so b cubed. 8 is bigger, so I've got c to the 6th. I'm done. I can't simplify that one anymore. So the negative exponent doesn't affect the way we've been doing things unless that you end up with only a negative exponent. then you have to know to put it on the other side of the fraction bar. So for this one, I can rewrite this with a y to the positive 2 on bottom and cancel that out on top. Giving me 1 over y to the third. Or I can just do my math, which is 1 minus a negative 2, which does the same thing. It equals a positive 3, and I get that. And I know I have to put a 1 on top because it's a fraction, and I have something in the bottom, so I need a placeholder in top. So either way works with the negative number, or with the negative exponents. So this next one, I'm going to go ahead and simplify it. I'm not going to move anything to the bottom till the very end if that I still have any negatives left. So this is multiplying still, okay, multiplying. So 4 times 2 is 8. Then I've got g, I'm going to add. Okay, my h has a 1 on it, so I'm going to add 1 and 2, which is 3. Then my k's both have a negative on them, so it's k to the negative 5. I can't leave negative exponents, so I'm going to move that to the bottom and make it a positive 5. So the final answer here would be 8 g to the 5th, h to the 3rd over k to the 5th. Okay. This last problem on the bottom, my 4 is bigger. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and it's going to be on bottom. Which is bigger, 0 or negative 4? 0. So 0 minus a negative 4 is actually adding. So what's 0 plus 4?
4.
4. So we have j to the 4th power. Okay, which is bigger, 2 or negative 3?
2.
2. Okay, so I have k, 2 minus a negative 3
Negative. No, 5.
is a positive 5. So there's my final answer. Okay. Sometimes it is taught that you would just rewrite it. So if we rewrote it before we started simplifying, my numbers are the same, but I would write j to the 4th on top. I would leave off my j to the 0, and I would write k to the 3rd and k squared both on bottom. So now I can see that they would add together to give me the k to the 5th. To me, it's easier just to look at which one's bigger and know the math there. Know that I'm subtracting. And when you subtract a negative, it makes it positive, and you keep it on whichever side. But if you need to rearrange it like this, that's also fine. You wouldn't get anything different. You would still get j to the 4th. Okay? And we eliminated j to 0 because we knew it equals 1, so it wouldn't matter. And we would have 2 on bottom and k to the 5th. We would still end up with the same answer even if we rearranged it. So that's the end of Friday's notes or practice problems that I wanted you to work on over the weekend and get them finished up so you could just check them today. So now back to today's notes. Okay. So back to today's notes. Today we are just reviewing everything that we learned last week. So the first thing we're doing is identifying which laws we're going to use in order to simplify this problem number 1 here. So are we going to need to use the zero property, the zero law, zero exponent law? Don't we have a zero exponent in there? Yes. Are we going to have to use the negative exponent law? All right, we got a negative exponent, so yes. Are we going to have to use the product law? No. What about the quotient law? No. What about the rational? Powers of powers? Yes. So this one, okay, looks a little more challenging. Are we going to have to use the zero property? No. We're going to have to use the negative? No. What about the product? Aren't we multiplying this times this? What about the quotient? Yes. What about the rational? Do you have any fractional exponents? No. So, nope. Okay, power to powers.
Yes.
So even though the second one looks more complicated, I'm still only going to use 3 rules. So now that I know which rules I'm going to be using, which order would you do them in? So take a few moments and figure out which order you would do this first one in and which order you would do the second one in while I come around and continue to check journals real quick for a few moments. But you need to make it a priority to get on the national lessons because we will be testing here. Did you have one that said day 2?
Miss.
Day 1, day 3, and day 4?
I have day 1, day 3, and day 4.
There's the day 2 one. And here's the one that we did. So we did day 1, day 2, then we did this one. And then we did day 3. So what order would you do those three products in? Which one would you do first? Power to power, okay,
Negative.
okay, then negatives, and a zero, okay. These two can be done in either order, okay, it does not matter. Some people will eliminate the 0, 1 at the very beginning because you know it equals 1, so 1 times anything's not going to change. But most of the time, yes, we'd want to do the power to power first. So what about on the second one? Which one would you do first?
Power.
Okay,
Product.
and then product, and then now that you know which order that they should go in, go ahead and work on trying to simplify them. That's the next step. So if you did yours, then the answer that I've circled there should be your final answer. Notice that in the second one, I did show the steps there of what happened. So I simplified my power to a power first. Then I did my product. So then I multiplied those two together to get this. Then I did divide. I used my quotient to get my final answer. How close were you guys to getting them correct?
That was really
Really close.
A few numbers.
the first one. I was sharp, but then the second one, I started.
So the first one was easier,
Yeah.
and the second one, because of all the steps, there was something missed in there. Okay. Alejandro, go ahead and take your hood off for me too. Okay. So the thing that tends to get missed the most is that it's 3 cubed, right? Because everything has a power of 1 on it. So if you need to remember and think about the fact that all of these right here have that invisible power of 1 on them, including the 3. Okay, so when this 3 gets multiplied to all of the powers, then it is 3 to the third power that needs to be simplified. Okay. So answer. Oh. Okay. Answer this question down here at the bottom. Okay, what mistakes did you make? What did you do right? Okay, how can you keep from making these mistakes again? Once you answer that, then start working on this part right here. Which properties do you think that you would use for each one of those? Which order would you do those in? If you were working on it, then these are the laws that you would have used for them. Here is the order that you would work them in. Notice that the quotient and the negative can be flip-flopped. Just like our order of operations. Okay. The negative and the zero powers, those really fall at that adding and subtracting stage, right? Quotient and product. Okay, so when you think of your order of operations, our exponents come first before we would multiply or divide. Then we would add in subtract, which is what our negatives would be. So now that we've decided what order we should do things in, go ahead and work on trying to simplify them. So these are what you should get for your final answer when you simplify it all the way. So the first thing, power to power here, you should have got 2 cubed, which is 8. And then 3 times 5 makes x to the 15. 3 times 3 makes z to the 9. Then these other things I just copied down, 3x to the 1. I went ahead and put my power. Z squared or y squared, z to the 1 power. And then 2x to the second power. And then I went ahead and multiplied 3 times 8 times 2 is 48. And then add all my x powers, 1 plus 15 plus 2 is 18. Y squared, I only had one y term, so it didn't change. I had z power of 1 and z power of 9, so that gave me z10. Now in this one down here, I ended up having to switch these. I ended up having to do negative first and then quotient. The reason I did my negative first is because I ended up with my 3 to the negative third power here. And the only way that I can simplify the only way that I can simplify, oh, did it freeze again? Okay, that's what was happening, is because anytime I have a number raised to a negative power, I have to do it in this fraction form. So I need to go ahead and put that 27 on bottom. There's no other way to simplify this 3 to the negative third power without putting it on the bottom. Okay. So with that being said, I did that and my screen has froze. It's syncing, so it won't let me zoom out again at the moment. So anyway, so finish that one. Okay, finish the other example. I believe, isn't there one more example set? Nope, was this it? Okay, then we're good. So we're right on track for tomorrow's lesson. You do have Get More Math problems for tonight. You have Get More Math practice every lesson this unit. Okay, so get those finished. Let's get our tables, our desks wiped. And the test for this unit will be next week. We have today's lesson, tomorrow's lesson. Wednesday, you guys won't be here because you'll be taking that English practice start test. Then we have a lesson Thursday and Friday. And then that's the end of our unit. And we will be testing next week. We're test review and then test. Okay, so come get wipes to wipe your desks. Share with a neighbor if they're wet enough. Who else needs a wipe? Get one.
Oh, that song. What did you get there? That was crazy. That was a good song.
Everybody get one and share. Noah, did you get one? Noah, did you get one?